Welcome back to the WatchTower Film Podcast, the film review podcast on the Towercast Network. By Cinephiles for Cinephiles. Woo! That was so unison, it felt fake.
You know what? No. I noticed that, like, as soon as all of us were like, yeah, now we do the part where we're like, woo! Then I look at Celine and she's like,
It was kind of
Is that too loud?
It was kind of soft. We are back. We are continuing our tour series. If you haven't caught up, we did Mr. David Fincher.
Of course.
We did Mr. Wes Anderson.
wait, are we
It's
like in the middle of the month?
Yeah, I'm talking about the series.
Oh,
bro.
sorry.
Come on, brother.
We did Wes Anderson.
Yeah.
We did Christopher Nolan.
I'll give it to him.
And we are now on our second to last tour of this series. We are talking about the great Martin Scorsese.
The brow.
The great brow. And we are on episode number 3 of that series. So 2 more films to go, including the one we're talking about today. Before I introduce the film we're going to be talking about,
Yep.
I got to introduce everybody in the room. My fellow co-host, Mr. Michael Lalaw, offering a cinematography perspective.
By the way, I don't think they might be released soon.
What?
My directorial debuts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, they should be out.
There's
already.
something special for this episode that
Yeah.
I
No,
just...
At least
I'm never
one of
acting
them.
for you again.
I feel
Yeah.
I'm cool. I'm an actor. I get it.
check your local film festivals. It's going to be showing.
Speaking of film festivals, I think before I continue introducing the room, I think it's important to announce that if you haven't seen on your socials or anywhere else we put it, we're going to have the great Kevin Smith at the El Paso Film Festival on Thursday, September 25th at 7 o'clock at the Plaza Theater. Tickets are only $20.
Get your
I'm
tickets.
not supposed to be here.
Yeah, exactly. But you are.
Wow.
And you're going to see Kevin Smith.
believe it.
$20.
We should get him to sign that.
We should. We will.
He's gonna sign my chest, bro.
So it's $20 for these tickets, or you could just buy a VIP pass for the festival and go to everything, and that includes the Kevin Smith screenings. After the Kevin Smith screening, same day, we're going to have Lloyd Kaufman present The Toxic Avenger.
Wait, Towercast alumni?
Towercast alumni Lloyd Kaufman
Kaufman
will be at the El Paso
Wow.
Film Festival
Alumni.
also.
Dang, we
how
can
are you
say
not
that now?
subscribed?
Say
Alum?
that. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, God. Wow.
Kevin Smith, there may or may not be a surprise in store with Kevin and Lloyd. I can't say much yet, but
Unky
I can't
Lloyd.
say that both of them will be at the El Paso Film Festival at the Plaza Theater. We're going to screen The Toxic Avenger with Lloyd, and then Kevin Smith is going to do like a great masterclass on filmmaking.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't know that.
If you didn't know Kevin, from Clerks, Chasing Amy, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I mean, this
Clerks too.
Motherfucker.
Clerks,
Motherfucker.
yeah.
Motherfucker.
Cop out.
Cop Out. Yeah, he has some. He actually has some sweet stories about Cop Out now. Like he made amends with.
Have
with
you heard
Bruce
about
Willis.
Bruce Willis recently?
Don't even bring something
No,
like
I
that.
don't even
up,
want
dude.
to
I feel
know.
bad, dude.
What is it bad?
No, just like,
He doesn't know that he was an actor.
like his memory's just getting so bad.
Yeah, it's so sad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Kevin told a story recently about how they made amends, and how he basically was just sitting around one day, and Bruce calls him, like out of the blue. Is like Bruce is like, "Hey, is this Kevin?" He's like, "Yeah," and he didn't answer the phone the first time. He's like, "Hey, man, it's Bruno." And he's like, "Who's Bruno, man?" Like, I don't know Bruno. He's like, "It's Bruce Willis." Is this Kevin Smith? He's like, "Oh, yeah." And he's like, "At first I thought it was one of my friends fucking with me." He's like, "Because my friend Ralph Garman does really good
Yeah,
impressions. So I thought it was Ralph fucking with me." But no, like Bruce Willis just called me and was like, "Well, I'm out in my ranch, man. And, I was seeing some old pictures and one of us came up and I just thought I'd call and say hey." And they talked for like hours.
Oh.
And they just like made amends out of nowhere.
Wow.
Like it was never really
Because
a
I know
thing.
Kev always had a sour taste in his mouth for that
He
film.
did, and I think Kev's starting to understand that he probably just overthought it. Like him and Bruce were fine. They just made a movie and they didn't happen to get along in that particular
yeah.
movie, and then they were cool.
That's me the first film I bring up with him.
Cop Out, dear God, no, please.
What? I love it, dude. Tracy Morgan.
Yeah. But yeah, Kevin Smith, again, just even if you're an indie filmmaker, if you don't have to necessarily love his films, but you have to respect what he did for the game.
Absolutely.
As an indie filmmaker, he created a subgenre on all of its own, especially for mumblecore people like me. You don't understand how important the dialogue of Kevin Smith is to me. It's incredible. And breaking the status quo and the norms of what film was. And again, he was right at the tail end of like the Linklaters with Slacker. That's what inspired him to do Clerks, and the Rodriguez's and the Tarantinos. He came from those Sundance babies, So this is the man, one of the greatest in indie cinema as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Going to be live in El Paso. So if you're in
still don't believe
Cruces, if you're in Arizona, New Mexico, come down. It's not that far of a drive. Kevin Smith for $20. You're not
Or in-
going to find that price anywhere
or
else.
in
I promise
Juarez
you.
or Chihuahua.
Or Juarez, Chihuahua. Absolutely. I told Kevin about Juarez, and he got a really kick of, like, he got a big kick of El Paso being on the border and stuff. So it's really cool. So come see him, and we may have another additional treat for the podcast. I don't know.
I mean,
we might have somebody on that hasn't been on before. That's all I'm going to say.
Is it going to be me?
I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
buddy. I don't know how public we can be with that yet. So
He's a little shorter than you.
know.
We're
see what happens.
cool dudes
Yeah.
and dudettes.
So come
Have a good
out.
time.
Please, like, at the very least, help us share. The promo should be out. Kevin Smith is saying he's going to be in El Paso.
Why
Let
you
your
not
friends
subscribed
know.
right now? Subscribe.
Yeah.
Oh, he
Follow.
also name dropped Tower Productions.
Oh, he did. Kevin,
Jesus.
thank you for
2
that,
times.
man,
I
'cause
know.
That was incredible.
Those times.
We appreciate that. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's just he wants, we told him what's going on in the indie film scene in El Paso, and he loved it. So thank you
Yeah.
for that, Kev.
Told him what's what.
What?
We
So-
told him what's what.
I told him what's what?
Who's
a little
who?
bit.
What?
Continuing introducing my fellow co-host, Mr. Austin Yummick. We're sounding on the ones
On
and
the
twos.
keyboard.
CK, I miss you.
CK is not here. He's in La La Land shooting
Again.
something. I don't know.
Shout out to La La Land.
Shout out to La La Land, indeed.
Don't talk to me.
Don't talk.
You know, you know what's worse is I'll text the man and be like, "Yo, you got a week out there. You need to go catch a screening here. You need to go. There's a screening in 35 at the Aero Theater," and he's like, "What's the Aero Theater?" And then he'll go. So like, you got to take advantage of your time out there, CK. I don't know
Yeah.
what to tell you. Last time I told him to go to the Academy Museum, and he did.
To be fair,
it's
he's
one of
also out there working.
He is. He is
He's not
very
like on
much so.
vacation.
Yeah,
well-
he's like 12-hour days.
Yeah.
And shit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just an excuse. You make time for cinema.
Yeah, I'm also with him on that. That's true.
Also in the room.
Damn, dude.
I already introduced
When
you.
was the
buddy.
last time you two were this close together on the podcast?
Probably not since our old office, I think. Maybe.
Yeah.
Or what about the
we're-
couch?
We're just not
Or
close
the
anymore.
couch. That's true. Why don't
I
you,
missed the couch.
Why don't you look at me when we make love?
Whoa.
That's what I want to know.
Whoa, man.
Mr. John Eric Castro.
This is John Eric Castro offering an acting perspective.
And I'm going to be honest with this episode. I'm still living with this movie. It's,
Much like the role that you
I don't know
just
where
did
it's
for
tilting,
me.
man. It could be good, could be bad.
It's tilting, but it's also like speaking on what most people argue to be the greatest actor of our generation, or his generation at least.
And I'm
Winona
I've
Ryder.
never seen Daniel Day-Lewis in this type of role. I don't know if I missed out on a couple of his roles.
My left foot's in this vein. It's,
haven't
it's
catched
not
that
on the romantic side.
About
but
my
it's-
boy.
Oh, yeah.
We're Bound to My
That's what
Child.
that's the
We're
Daniel
going to cover
Day-Lewis I
that
know.
film next month, so
Stay tuned.
stay tuned.
Yeah. Keep watching shit.
Last but not least, we have a special guest on the podcast
Yes,
today.
we do. Yes, we do.
This individual is not only extremely well versed in film, but she is an incredible crew member to have on your team.
Absolutely.
I just found that out this weekend for sure.
We met briefly on a Warner Brothers set. And then after seeing her work on that, I was like, she's local? What? We need to get her on our sets. And since then, she's been our script supervisor and our first AD, and amongst other things, and there's more to come. So without further ado, we have the great Celine Dipp on the podcast.
Hey everyone, I was talking to them, but it's such an honor to be here because down from the beginning, I watched one of their really early podcast episodes,
Oh, yeah, you were
and
just
it's
talking.
grown so much.
Yeah.
Grown
Oh,
into,
my God.
I mean, it's such a beautiful thing that they've created here. So
I'm
it's really
so
an honor
sorry
to be
that
on.
you watched one of the shitty early.
Iterations
the
of-
ideas were great even from the
Exactly.
beginning. So
Yeah,
Early
really she didn't
episodes.
like the film.
Humble
Oddly enough, serendipitously enough, or at least coincidentally enough, same director. We screened Taxi Driver at the
Oh,
Film
yeah.
Cafe,
That's
and,
true.
and Celine was present. And we, unbeknownst to us until today, he's like, "Yeah, terrible film, but you guys did a great show." I'm like,
Go see
"What?
you guys
Taxi
live."
Driver, terrible film?" So we're gonna have to talk about this, Celine. I'm your humble film servant, Carlos Amdal, offering a writing directing perspective.
Humble.
Humble, more like mumble.
Definitely.
Core.
I dig it.
I love it.
I'm your mumble film servant. That sounds all right.
I'm a mumbling film servant.
I am a mumble.
Hey, well, I don't know. The law said he wanted to be a butler, so maybe he can
That's
be.
true, man.
You were definitely
That was
bubbling
you
up
were
that
you.
slide.
It was enticing to you. This lifestyle that he
No,
was portraying was so
I don't-
enticing to you that you're like,
I don't
if I
know.
could just be a butler in that room.
I don't know if you remember, but like I remember it was like early on. It's probably during one of our podcast days because I was like just hanging out with all of us, and then it was like, well, what did you want to be like before thinking you were gonna get into film? And I was like, man, I kind of always wanted to be like a butler. And you're like, how sad.
Yeah.
Like it was like pick a better career. Like I was like, geez, I just
It's like the Good Will Hunting scene where he's like, I want to be a shepherd.
A shepherd.
a shepherd. I just want to get a
You see this
Flock
scarf.
of
field
fucking
and tend to
sheep
them. And then he's like, if you're gonna jerk off, why don't you do it at home with a moist towel? It's one of the best lines of that film. I'm just saying.
Female on set.
Good Will Hunting, but yeah, don't be a butler, dude.
Speaking of,
We're here to talk about what I think is one of the most underrated Scorsese films. One that does not get talked about enough. One of my favorites, definitely. And again, we talked about this last episode where there's like a whole. We tried to be fair. Naturally, we're going to talk about Goodfellas, but Mean Streets gets a better play. But I wanted to talk about films like King of Comedy and After Hours and Age of Innocence, and we thought we got to be fair to the audience. We don't want to bore them to death either. There's got to be some films that they love, that they've seen, that they gravitate to.
something I
But
gotta chew over. Yeah.
this one's like one of those selfish picks where I'm like, well, but they need to know about Age of Innocence because it's such an incredible film that doesn't hardly get enough recognition, and it's also like forcing people to understand that Scorsese isn't just about mob films. That's not what
Maron.
he is.
Where's the gabagool?
Hey, Mook.
Though it is
You call
very-
me a fucking mook, eh?
Though it is very much a
The
New
Tutankamon.
York film, it's not a mob film. So that's kind
Yeah.
of the cool thing about this one. But we're here to talk about Age of Innocence,
1993.
93, starring Daniel Day-Lewis, Michelle Pfeiffer,
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer, and Winona Ryder. This thing is pretty incredible. It's based on an Edith Wharton novel of the same name. Edith Wharton, if you don't know, just very much writes high society scandal books, but she's a Pulitzer Prize. This is a Pulitzer Prize winning book, Age of Innocence. So this is a huge deal. This book for literary purposes. I mean, it's just an incredible book, and
Shout out to literarity.
literary bookshop. Absolutely, shout out to Bill.
Oh.
Yeah, but Age of Innocence was a big deal for a very long time, and she wrote in real time, and a lot of her books were just iconic for a lot of people. So like it's that Pride and Prejudice kind of sentimentality. I don't know if you're a fan of Pride and Prejudice. I'm the only guy I know who likes Pride and Prejudice, so I don't know.
I'm telling you, I think Celine used to watch like Little House on the Prairie or something.
I saw the vampire one with Pride and Prejudice. That
No,
was pretty
not that one, man.
I saw women talking.
I'm sure you
Good for
did,
you.
pal, but whatever you do in coffee
good
shops is
job.
your own business. Right now, we're going to talk about Age of Innocence. Anyways, based on an Edith Wharton novel, I'm going to say something that I mean in a very loving face, but it is a precedent for kind of what I told these guys about this film when we started was like, there's a great line in Entourage, oddly enough, that Vince, the main character, is meant to do this Edith Wharton book that Sam Mendes is going to direct.
Okay, he just slated. So
I'm glad.
start
So
from
we're
the
going to
top.
start from the beginning.
No, there
right?
was a mosquito. I was trying to get it.
Edith
Did you
Wharton
get it?
novel
No.
is mentioned in Entourage. Like Vince is going to do the film, and the story goes. It's called Glimpses of the Moon, I think.
Oh, I like it. It's interesting.
And they're basically like, do you really want to do a paint drying Edith Wharton novel where the guy doesn't get the girl because those were the days? And that's kind of what she writes. Like the guy doesn't get the girl because those were the days, or they go in the opposite love triangle direction, like Pride and Prejudice. But yeah, Edith Wharton, Age of Innocence. This is what this is based on. It does have the Criterion treatment, as you can see.
Nice.
I think this was my first Criterion film ever.
Really?
Yeah, and it's seen
And he
better
f-
days, as you can see.
And he said he fell asleep the first time he
I
watched.
did fall asleep the first time I screened it.
That's
Like
it.
I remember Sandra and I, my wife, we were watching this, and I thought it's a Scorsese film I haven't seen. We got to see this, and we threw it on, and I swear, first 10 minutes we zonked out. At the time, I had a war with long intros. I remember feeling the same way about West Side Story, the original West Side Story. Stupidly long, man. Like this is like 30 minutes of titles, and in the case of West Side Story, it's like a pattern being drawn for fucking 10 minutes. That's the intro. So I had a particular war on like long intros, and this has a very long intro of like flowers opening
Yeah,
up
I
for
agree.
fucking 10 minutes. So I fell asleep, but I gave it another shot because I had to, and boy, am I glad I did. So Age of Innocence has become one of my favorite Scorsese films and just favorite films in general.
Top 5?
Top 5 Scorsese's. Top 5 Scorsese's for sure. Yeah.
Would it be 5?
Probably 5.
Okay.
Jeez. Now I know what you tell me what you really feel, how you really feel.
No, I'm just saying. Like, I feel See, like we've dealt or talked about different films in an auteur's filmography, and each one is an exploration in something. And though Scorsese's explorations usually revolve around like you described it, the fall of Rome, this one feels like, if you want to call it the fall of Rome, but something that's universal that we all experience, which is this like love lost, and like experiencing that in and of itself can be this detrimental thing. And I mean, I love the way that in this film, we'll talk about it more, but he treats it like an opera. It's a devastating reality,
very much
that somebody, let's say you're after, you can't be with for societal reasons, and the whole question of that, and willing to almost like throw away your whole life to be there. Like it's super interesting. So
it goes. I love the opera observation, because to me, especially on another screening, it feels like the common thread that they're both unraveling, these two characters, is that they're not together for societal reasons, but more importantly because the society they belong to are all actors.
Yeah.
And to have the juxtaposition of an actual opera in the film
that's
play
why
against this high societal, facade, is just, to me, what this film's really all about.
And you also see how much like they're affected by themes in the opera. Like whenever they need to, it's almost like whenever they need to have that silent conversation of internalizing what they just went through, seeing the opera is the maximum of whatever that moment was for them. You know?
Or like there's a line in the film where he says these high society people just as quickly want to leave the social setting that they loving to come to.
No, it was the whole thing. It's at the very beginning of the film, but that Americans love to leave entertainment more than they are excited to come for.
Yeah. And again, because it's all about appearances.
Yeah.
It's all about coming to these places, not really paying attention to the fucking play, and then using their binoculars to see who came and who they came with and who they're sitting next to. And again, this beautiful opera house, these amazing performers on stage, but this is their entertainment, this form of gossip.
More than that, it's their stage. It's like they have their cues, and they know when to leave. Like they say consistently that one of the madams would leave at the start of the third act, which acknowledged to all of New York that the ball would be starting soon, and then they would go there, and it's this whole everything's a play. But before we continue on into our observations of the unknown,
ratings.
Yes, sir. Who would you like to go?
Should I put Celine on the spot? I'm wondering if I should put Celine on the spot.
Throw her in it.
I was hoping you didn't do this, because I feel like if I'm super off base and then you guys are totally different.
Someone
opinions.
always is,
no, yeah.
which is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
But
one thing,
I'll give you some time. Give you some time.
No, I was gonna say one thing that we've done, at least recently, because sometimes we'll much like this film and long intros, we'll spend like 45 minutes, and then at the very end of the episode, we'll be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna rate it a 7. And like,
yeah.
But what I've told everybody
It
to
might
do is,
change.
if you want to do it, we can all think of our number, have this moment of peace, and then you can just point at us and we'll shoot it out.
Yeah, we'll do it quickly. Usually we do like a
Band-Aid,
like a quick thing, small kind of description or justification. But I'll just go around the room. We'll end with you, and then
I got my number.
Quick fire ratings.
8.3.
8.3.
I'm gonna pull that out. Hold on.
Oh wow.
That means next week Castro has to pull it on you.
8-1.
8-1. Okay. Wow, you guys are lower than I thought you were gonna be.
I'm at a 7-9 with a chance to be an 8.
7-9 with a chance to be an
Hey,
A. Wow.
moron. Did you watch the same film?
Yeah, he did. That's why it's a 7.9.
Bitch, you're at an 8-1. You're not that far off from this.
So
man.
far, I'm the
What did you
highest.
see? Yeah.
Yeah, but
Celine?
you couldn't give it an 8 at least?
Celine, don't let us influence
Yeah,
you. What's the
genuine.
right answer?
Okay, I have it a number since the beginning. You guys are putting decimals in here.
You
right?
can.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna say a 5.6.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
All
I think
right.
that's the
Everybody
lowest.
point at her and laugh.
No, I'm with her.
I like how
Whoa, that's
I like how we
That's
didn't point and
very
laugh.
low.
We pointed and screamed.
I don't even think our rating goes that
Who's
low.
listening?
I know.
They
I think it stopped
pointed.
at
I
6.
didn't know that we. I don't
I
know.
think
if we-
Walter Mitty was probably the last.
Yeah,
like
no.
a 6.
Okay.
Do you like Walter Mitty?
I've never seen it.
Okay.
You're good.
What
have
That's
you
fine.
I'm sorry.
Age of
a
Innocence.
5.6.
Like, yeah, 5.7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, maybe we're thinking on the 1 through 10 at a different scale.
What do you mean?
No.
No,
We're
I
all
think it's
thinking
just catching
about.
us off guard because we thought this was like your type of film. You love the author.
Well,
I don't know. Did you not like how they made the movie? How they acted?
Well, no, we'll get into that.
Yeah,
but
yeah, we'll get
Carlos, what's your rating?
After you
Fire.
just had that big blow to you.
I'm at the
Yeah.
opposite end of that spectrum, man. I think this
You're in the spectrum for sure.
Oh, damn.
This
Just called
is-
your mama stupid.
He's
What are
playing,
you going
he's
to say
playing.
now?
this is I'm like at a 9. I'm
A
very
firm
comfortable.
9?
I thought you were
firm-
gonna go a little
firm
higher.
9.
So okay.
I'm comfortable there, man. This is what I love film to be. I love film to be this introspective, and I love it to explore society almost on an anthropological scale, but packaged in the universal theme. And I think that Age of Innocence does it extremely well. And it's also like my favorite kind of storytelling when it's just like longing for something or for someone.
Yeah.
Longing being the operative word. And again, I think the closest thing I likened it to you guys was like In the Mood for Love.
Oh,
And-
I thought it was more like Water for Chocolate.
Sure, like Water for definitely similar
Because,
things, for sure.
I mean, other than the ending, but this whole
Like the magical realism of it all.
No, the whole like longing for a person and that permeating almost your whole
Yeah,
life.
yeah, absolutely.
And knowing that the only reason you're not there is because there's a societal element that's keeping you back
For
in
sure.
some way.
Yeah, definitely similar themes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just love that somebody like Scorsese will think this way and want to explore something like this in this packaging, and it doesn't derive too far off. Like one of his favorite films is a film called The Heiress, which was actually kind of inspired Killers of the Flower Moon, also similar themes, but it's exploring society through this packaging that most people see on, like, for instance, in our generation, people will watch things like Downton Abbey, and those things are huge hits, but it's drama, like left and right. But it's drama, the pulling back the curtain of drama that we see, like if we see royals on the screen. So I think this is exploring a new society because it is very new. This is the country's less than 100 years old in this film, the United States. And again, it's almost like we went from Gangs of New York right into Age of Innocence in terms of Scorsese filmography.
I kept expecting Daniel Day-Lewis's character to be like, yeah, I just...
Tapping his eyeball.
Yeah.
But again,
from
they're also
turf war.
exploring that. Like, is he a nobleman? Is he a Frenchman? Is he an Englishman? What principles from the UK are they bringing over here and replicating when this is supposed to be a free country? And again, there's a lot of those themes explored into what's influencing society, and then deciding like maybe we shouldn't give a shit. And isn't that what this country's based on? So yeah.
I think with me, my score is kind of low because I have a couple questions about this film.
Okay.
Especially, I don't want to sound down, but
Like,
Why
what
did-
were they saying?
no, why didn't Alan tell? Like, I know, but why didn't he tell Daniel Day-Lewis's character?
Who?
Winona Ryder's character.
Tell him what?
That she knew.
Well, because again, the societal aspect. She's a mom.
wait.
She's
Yeah.
about
Is
to
it-
become a mom. She wants
I
to
thought-
see like her family's wholesome. Has a wholesome home. It's also a test, right? It's like the test of tests. If he's willing to give her up, then he really does love me and wants to stay here. And like is balancing out the fact that he's about to have a kid. And what's more important at this point? That this kid grew up in a broken home, or which is already a societal, taboo.
That's probably what I'm not getting because I understand the whole societal thing that you
Yeah.
don't want to be
Like
known as this.
you're wondering why Ellen didn't tell him like, oh, your wife's pregnant, or
No. He's wondering why Winona's character said throughout the course of their marriage, throughout the course of their life together, didn't say like, "Hey, I knew."
Yeah.
I knew about you.
Like I know the power of plain innocent, but they just
That's why that
Oh, I
scene
may,
that
yeah.
scene is so important to me. That scene of like it's voiceover of them saying like everybody in New York society, high society
Yeah.
knew, including his wife. And there's a smile. There's a fake smile
Winona for sure.
of Winona coming to him of being like, "Hey, we're going to keep this up, right? Let's just keep this up." But it's also an exploration, I think, of like, well, he found love with her. he did find love with her. Ultimately, he did abandon the idea of ever being with Ellen after he found out she was pregnant with his first kid and said, well, maybe I need to reframe my whole life and see her in a new light and fall in love with her again.
You know,
and then he did, like, to the point where they say, like, when she died, he mourned. He actually mourned
honest
her.
grief.
Honest
is
grief.
What they said.
I guess I just don't believe in second chances.
That's
where I'm
so
kind
this
and
is
I
a
kind of love that.
personal gripe.
No, yeah, and I love
That's
that
good.
no,
That's
and
good.
there was this peak in everybody's arc, like especially when she announces the pregnancy, because for him it was like he was finally going to tell her, oh, I need to go away for a while and travel.
just escape?
Like, I just need to escape and travel the world. But that was going to be like, I'm finally able to get away from you, and I'm finally able to fully indulge in the affair, and I'm finally able to just live the life that I want to live, separated from all this, and just self-indulge. And then at that point, her antithesis was saying, okay, but you've made a promise to me to start this life, the one that's grounded, the one that's here. And what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose this one that you feel like you should have, or the one that you've
I have a
already
hard time believing that a woman would do that.
No, but I think like at first glance, because of where
If
our
only we had a woman to ask.
well, yes,
That's actually
obviously,
true,
but I think
just-
and you all tell me, please chime in at any given point. But
Yeah.
in our societal brains, in 2025, men in 2025 will want to say, like, dude, I'd just walk away. Like, I'll send her money, or I'll just, like, I'm not going to be stuck in this marriage. I'm not going to be trapped. A lot of men will go through that thing, and we see it in his eyes. We see, like, oh, my prison will remain my prison after this.
They even bring it up during the dinner party, like he's the center prisoner in a guarded prison, you know.
And what's more is, like,
those things-
now in a male's head, and Diamond Day-Lewis's character's head, it's like, hey, I'm pregnant. Throw away the key. Throw away the key to the prison. I'm here now. This is my prison. I definitely can't get out of this now until, again, he reframes his mind to, like, well, maybe this is what needed to happen.
Yeah.
This is what's going to force me to reframe my life.
That
What are
line.
your thoughts here, Celine?
I was thinking about that moment. I feel like within this story, there's this larger idea of rules. Like that seems to be a framework, a motif.
Like society-wise, or
Yeah,
Right.
societal rules. And in a way, I almost think he's choosing which rules he wants to obey or not. And so Winona Ryder's character, May, she always is obeying the rules. And in a way, it's
He
victorious.
says she grounds him in those rules at the beginning of the film. Yeah.
Yeah, it's victorious for her that she gets to obey them. In a way, she is victorious in this film, right?
Yeah.
Like she lives out the succession
Tradition.
of her lives.
yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to say. Like, that is so messed up that she didn't.
Yeah, but
In a
again,
way, I guess-
because the rules and the tradition are more important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They'll always be more important
sure.
to a character like hers. And again, because what's the end goal here? The end goal is to end up
What
like
is
the
it?
granny, right? The granny who lives with her dogs and is the richest woman in the family and is a matriarch of this. The goal is to potentially end up like her, right? This is the top of the pyramid. This is, if you can fulfill your duties living in the society and following the rules, this is the end game.
So
I'm just questioning
gonna-
the rules, but yeah, you got to live, putting yourself back in the 1800s.
I'm going to
yeah.
backtrack the conversation just a little bit because usually for the most part, we're all like, I think voting in the same realm, but just because Celine, your vote is, or your rating is so drastically
Egregiously.
no. The question always comes up with all of our ratings. What's preventing it from usually being like a point up or more points up? Or in this case,
A D. What's preventing
no.
it from being a D at 6?
I feel
Like, what?
like with I think anything below 6. The question is, what is separating this film from being like a good film compared to where it is right now, a bad film? Like, you know, so
Even if your basis of comparison is like, well, hey, my favorite your favorite film is The Graduate. I know,
Yeah.
so
yeah, was this not
definitely a
old
much
enough
different
for
feel,
you?
much grittier, much more 70s, 60s influence. What? Yeah, I mean, it is a departure, absolutely, from your favorite film.
But what's it missing?
Yeah.
I think that I don't know if I see 5.6 as like a bad film. I don't know if that was how I was looking to rate it.
Let's just say that at a 5.6, it's not graduating college.
Exactly. That's kind of what we're.
Okay, I was the original.
You
Number
know
in
that
my
line in
head.
Forrest Gump? right below the line in Forrest Gump.
That's where we're at.
It was a 6.2, but then I bumped it down to a 5.6. Like maybe I would merit it a 6.2, and on your rating scale, I would probably bump it higher. I think it was a very good film.
Okay.
Like when I'm rating things, I think I'm looking for both personal perspective and also from the integrity of just like film criticism.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
okay, is this a good film? I think technically it's very strong. I think that there are a lot of elements to it that I almost feel like I wanted it to lean more into what
Like what?
was strong. I really like the way that it exercised restraint. Like I think restraint is maybe the strongest point of this film,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for
Thinking
sure.
about that lighthouse moment where she doesn't turn around and it's cutting back between the water and between
The
Archer
bench.
and between Ellen, and you're just waiting for it to cut back that third time, and she's turning around looking at him, and it doesn't. It never happens.
That's good.
And then at the end, you get that revelation of she finally turns around. Spoiler alert. But I think that the use of narration felt really critical and vital to me, but it didn't feel like an expansion of the medium of
Oh, that's
film.
interesting.
I'm with you
Well-
on that.
To argue,
No, I'm all ears. Go ahead.
fisticuffs. No, I think similar to like you say, the restraint and also those moments. We were talking about this a little bit before the podcast started, but there are shots in there that they're not actually happening. Like there are moments that aren't really happening there, but because of the emotional tension in the characters that play, we're given exactly what either we would want to see or what they would want to see. Like I said, there was a moment when they're in that little house and she comes up and comforts him and is hugging him from behind. But then we cut to see outside that her lover's coming towards the door. And then we're cut back to reality, which is that she's still sitting down and he's just there now realizing like, oh,
Internally, what they might feel before this.
I never want to
realistic
comfort anybody again.
okay.
I
Save it
will
for
say
the
this.
promo.
That
To
That
that
is
point,
true.
I think there are a lot of these "Y tu mamá también" moments that I like in it, in the
completely.
sense of like, this isn't what the voiceover saying isn't what's happening in the frame. In fact, it's far from it. A lot of the jokes that were coming up when we were screening the film is like, why do I need to see 6 plates of fish? Or like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I was
because
about to get to that,
it's showing the indulgence, it's showing the absurdity of these fanciful feasts and the properness of it while talking shit about somebody
It's
in the
also
scene.
showing how much these people have to still play into tradition. you
Yeah,
know?
that's absolutely.
that no matter if there's an affair, no matter if somebody's like being like excommunicated from the family,
We must
everybody-
have Sunday brunch.
We have to have Sunday brunch, and it has to have these steps. And if it doesn't have those steps, then it won't be part of the family. I think the one moment or the one scene that exercises, or not exercises, but like exemplifies the world that they live in is when they get an invitation. It's midway through the film, but it's to a party, and because certain family members aren't agreeing
Oh,
with
yeah. Well, it's to her party.
yeah, it's to her party. Certain family members don't want to go, and they're like, "Oh, but we're supposed to go." And it's like, "Okay, well, if we have to go, then you and I will go, and they can wait back." And this whole thing of certain
To save face. Like, what
Yeah.
can we do just to be borderline save
Yes.
face and keep tradition, but to also make a statement that we're not in agreement
Yeah.
with what she's doing?
And the lovely thing is that, you know, they say watching a film with no sound, like, could you still tell what's going on in the movie? I'd say a lot of the scenes that when they're at the parties, other than Daniel Day-Lewis micro expressions to show that he's furious or he's you know, like yearning for something better, these parties, everybody's still playing their face, everybody's still playing their role, and when there's little breaks, everybody just tries to like shake it off and go back in. And
I think that's what I love
you
about
see the
Scorsese
pressure that's there,
is-
you know?
I don't know. I could be wrong here, but I think that's what I love about Scorsese is if you did turn off the sound, his filmmaking is influenced by such unconventional methods of underground cinema. The things that we talked about last time, things like John Cassavetes and Ingmar Bergman, and just a lot of things that are Truffaut and Fellini, like these unconventional filmmakers, in the sense of like, if you see a Spielberg film with the sound off, easy to follow for the most
Dinosaur.
part. Yeah,
Dinosaur more pissed
Get away
off.
from the dinosaur.
easy
Get
to
away
follow,
from
right?
dinosaur.
But in this something like Age of Innocence, if you turn the sound
Rich
off,
people.
it is
More
rich people, but it's not. You're not going to understand specifically why he chose specific moments.
Yeah.
With the sound off or
Yeah.
with the context. And I think that's what I appreciate. I
the
think
sound on,
that
it
you
was
really
off.
have to be immersed in this world in an unconventional way, but also in a universal way to follow this and to be invested in it.
I'll also say, similar to the element of we talk about musicals, that like
Right.
that first opener really needs to punch you in and tell the audience this is the kind of film you're going to be experiencing.
Yeah, absolutely.
The dialogue was so overly circuitous.
Yeah, that's
and
good way
First
to
of
put
all,
it.
you're using too many big words.
Yeah, I don't know what
Because
that means, but
I
it felt
understand
right.
what all
It
of
felt like it
mean.
was right for that.
Yeah, it was.
Take
Watch
them as
your
a
mouth.
fence. Watch your mouth.
It was so
Kevin Hart, dude.
circuitous and
Yeah,
verbose,
circuitous,
and just
sure.
so much was going on that I was lost, and I'm like, oh no, I'm too stupid to watch this
Yeah,
film.
once
I'm
it
gonna
started
be
using-
so-
once it started using words like-
There's a line in the Entourage where they're like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna do a fucking Edith Wharton novel. Like, how do you think about that? Did you see Age of Innocence?" It's like, "Oh, is Scorsese doing this?" No, he's like, "Well, how did you feel about Age of Innocence?" It's like, "Well, I don't remember the story, but I remember that by the end of the film, I knew how to hold my fork correctly." Yeah. Like that. That's
It's one of those. They're but again, it's to immerse you in proper society and the
Took me a while for
crowd.
that, yeah.
The crowd
Definitely.
that we're going to be in.
Yeah.
So then later on, I noticed that the dialogue got a lot more simplistic. I would really have to rewatch it to see if it was just
Same.
me
No,
finally
you
getting the vibe.
You were just immersed in it. I don't think it gets more simplistic. I think what actually happens is
No, look at
if
like
you
the
can
dialogue between him and the son later on, with him and the
Well,
son.
Yeah.
dude, because time
Oh,
progresses.
He got
He's
you
an
there.
old man.
That's actually
There's
true.
pavement on the roads now.
yeah, he's.
There was still a horse.
I don't talk like
There
my
was
dad.
still a horse,
You
but
talk
there's
like your dad?
pavements and motorized cars. Exactly, yeah. Like the sun is, it's more modern.
So you think that's all it was?
I think that's all it was. But I think that's a good thing though, because in our sense, the first time
You
anybody
mustn't
screens this
not
film,
think about it.
you feel kind of stupid. You're like, the fuck am I? I don't. This is proper English. I know gooder than this, But at the same time, you're so far immersed that by the end of it, I was making a joke with Celine that like. You feel like you're watching a soap opera. Like you feel like you're caught up in the drama. You feel like you're caught up with these characters. I genuinely
By the end,
think
for sure.
If you can, just like the musical thing you're
invested.
alluding to, if you can get past the first, if you can find a way to get past the first 10 minutes to get immersed,
yeah.
to like follow these people. And by the way, I also think to an extent the voiceover helps with that. I think
Yeah.
the voiceover does help you.
Yes. Now I know where the fork's supposed to go.
Right.
But do you think that's a good quality for a film that you need to get past 10 minutes?
I think because it goes deeper.
No, no, I'm with you, I'm with you.
Surface level cinema you're in for the first 10 minutes. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It hooks you. It's easy. It's cheap. It's a flash in the pan.
Yeah.
True.
Cinema of substance will force you to dive into this world a little deeper. I think of stuff like even a more modern take, something like Uncut Gems. The first 45 minutes of that film are unwatchable, not because it's a bad film or bad filmmaking or film techniques, because it's uncomfortable. Because I'm not used to being in this world. Because I feel uneasy.
Yeah, the tension.
Things like Midsommar, like I feel uneasy. What am I doing here? I think it's just something that's going to try to go on a deeper level.
Yeah.
You have to invest a little bit of yourself
Yeah.
into it.
Like jumping into a pool. You got to get acclimated so that way the rest of it can be
Exactly. You got to dip your toes and be like,
Yeah.
oh, this is cold.
Well-
fuck it. I'm going to dive in. And
out of
if you do-
curiosity, throughout the entire film screening, you were taking notes. I
were
haven't
taking
seen you
notes.
bust out the notebook once.
Absolutely.
I tried that once and they made fun of me, so I stopped.
No, what was
I brought notes.
I don't know if this is
So
inappropriate
you
to ask,
printed
but-
out the Wikipedia page and brought that.
I needed
Yeah.
to learn the names from a movie I didn't see, bro. Just like,
So what was happening? What were you reacting to? Because I feel you were having the most genuine.
That's why
and
I was
heartfelt
shocked at your
Visceral,
rating.
yeah.
That's why I was shocked at your rating
That
because
all-
I
she
saw
was-
you react.
She was taking notes on us. and
Yeah.
what she's gonna respond.
blackmail.
Yeah.
Carlos
Sure to
thinks
get
more
angry
gooders than
during
real
podcast.
words.
gooder. No, I genuinely saw you reactive, and
Same.
usually when I see these guys reactive, or anybody who's a guest on the podcast, or general screening a film for somebody, when I see somebody reacting, it's usually a good sign. It's usually like, oh, they're in, cool, like
Right.
they're in. But
Well,
5.6.
I think, yeah, I think what bothered me about this film was it was so dangerous at such a low-lying level, right? Like all of the film is about danger, right? And the ways that we can like encroach on danger when it feels like completely remote from the spaces that we're in.
Sure.
And I think for
Oh, because you think the stakes are low?
I think the stakes can feel high in certain Oh, I guess I thought that Scorsese had a really nice way, or I guess Edith Wharton, of pacing out when the stakes
Sure.
were ramped up. But what's so interesting is like there are these really provocative moments in the film. Like I kind of picked up on that motif too of we're watching a performance and everything they're doing is a performance. And I actually have like a really large scale disagreement to make with you on like why I think it's really important that Winona Ryder's character didn't ever reveal to him, because I think it actually makes the ending resonant.
Absolutely.
No, for sure. It works for the ending, but you don't think
His question is it realistic? Do you feel like it was realistic?
a woman would keep that and give a second chance?
I think
Would
it
a woman do that?
was.
Yeah.
What do women do?
The second it's uttered,
Teach us.
to speak on, no, it's just the second it's uttered, it's over.
Sure.
Right?
Oh,
Like
breaks
the
the glass.
second there's that revelation. But what's so
like that.
interesting, I guess I don't know, we could get to the ending in our due time.
Oh, I mean, we tend to jump around on that
it's
podcast.
a 93
Yeah.
film.
Well, let me before you kind of expand on that
Of
thought, I
course.
want to ask, in that same vein,
As a woman.
does it always, as a
I love
cinephile,
women.
Celine, as a
As
filmmaker,
a film fan.
do you feel like the shattering of the glass in their marriage also alludes to, because it could be a few different things, but him walking away would shatter this beautiful image of longing forever. It could be that, or did he really just love his wife and decides, I don't want to do this? I personally take the shattering of the longing. Like if I talk to her and I don't know, if she doesn't look at me the same way, it's gonna
Yeah, no, I love the ending that he didn't go up. He walked
know?
away. I love that. It's just
that's the ending I take. But it could mean a bunch of different things in terms of shattering that glass.
I interpreted it. I mean, the glass is interesting because there's the literal motif of the
Right.
glass, but I was thinking about that line when they're in some kind of European city on their little honeymoon. And then he says, I thought of Ellen as a ghost, as the
Oh, that's
last
interesting.
in a long line of ghosts in my life.
Sure.
And there's a spectral quality when you're staring at the water and thinking about Ellen as either an apparition or an actual person in his life, of this like tension between like real and fake people, right? Like he literally utters that. And then when he ends up committing to May, he says that's a room that many of my real memories occurred in. But what's so interesting about the ending is here's what I think is like a compelling twist is when he finds out that May knew about the affair, it actually means it's some level of acceptance, right? Like the entire time he describes being a nonconformist at the end that never actually acts on it. And so being in love with Ellen was an act of nonconformity. But when his wife says, I knew,
You were part of the play.
she was part of it. And also,
Well, but he was an active participant of the play.
exactly.
Right,
And
right.
by pursuing that, she almost gives him his blessing.
Yeah.
And so it would be an act of conforming to pursue Ellen
Yeah.
after his death.
Yeah, it's almost
think
like that's a nice little thing to write at the end of your journal, dear, of your life journal. Is like, my wife said it was okay, so I went to the love of my life. It's like, no, weren't you a nonconformist? Weren't you like I'm gonna do my own
Yeah.
thing kind of guy? This is just like like bending to your wife's final wishes. Like,
Yeah.
it's a sweet notion, but it's also not who
It's-
his character is.
It's
Or
also
wants to
such
be.
Yeah.
an interesting moment, even in his dialogue, where like after his son kind of says, "Oh yeah, so yeah, I heard about this. That's crazy," and then he's
Crazy
like,
scene.
"No," and then he repeats
That's
the same
wild,
line.
yo.
No,
That was the exact dialogue.
on God.
No cap.
hey
No,
yo,
you
pops, ain't that kind of crazy? You almost left mine.
He's Italian.
He's New Yorker. No, but the whole line of that she asked him to stay and he like chose her, and then he's like, oh no, she never asked, and then like a beat, and then it's like, yeah, she never asked, and like lingering on that
Yeah.
moment where you see
Like
this,
he did it without her asking. She never
Yeah.
asked him to stay.
and I guess you see that it almost kicks up the dust because he would have been fine otherwise, but it's like, oh no, like you could almost use that as fuel for rage to be like, oh, she didn't ask, so I'm finally gonna like rectify the whole situation that
that's
happened.
true.
Or it's kind of like, oh, she didn't ask, but was that really a test? Like by me doing that, was I passing something in some way, as opposed to like viewing the memory as that's the biggest time I got defeated. You know, like I don't know. It's
No, it's interesting. It is interesting. It's enough to make a man go mad. It's enough to make a man go mad at the end
or
of
at
his
least
life.
kind of grumpy.
Well, no, but I do think that it goes longer than that in terms of like rustling up these feathers that you probably
Yeah.
thought were gone and flew away in the wind, and then the universe kind of puts it back in your lap, and it's in the most societal accepting way possible.
Right.
My son tells me to go after the love of my life because his mother told him to. It's the most acceptable.
Yeah.
It's like when you're talking to your significant other, right? And then I've had these conversations of like, oh, if I died. Like, who would you know what I mean? Or like, these are
That
the
is
conversations. And there's always the man will always try to get to like, oh, well, like there's a thing in How I Met Your Mother, which is funny, is like he kills his wife. She dies of like a disease that he can't help. And he even says like, we set up a foundation in your name in his fantasy just so that he could sleep with a woman in his fantasy.
make it feel
You know what I'm
okay.
saying?
Yeah,
To make it feel like acceptable and
Yeah, yeah.
fine and there's no guilt.
That's why I talk to none of my bastard children. Like,
That's
I mean,
good.
I don't
That's-
need that kind of societal guilt.
You
on
really
in place.
don't. But no, that's the thing,
Yeah.
right? Is like in the most societal acceptable way, he's given the permission finally from the universe, quote unquote.
Oh, Papa.
But it turns out it wasn't really the universe. It was like again,
Yeah.
it's do we want to burst that bubble?
It's a choice.
I hate that.
And then
I
at
know.
the end,
It's enough to make a man go mad. dude.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
'cause if he's with her and they're on the beach and
Oh,
they're at the
Papa.
lighthouse and they love each other and their grandchildren or his grandchildren are like there and he's like, oh man, yeah, I'm living the life.
Don't
and then
worry,
it's like,
Papa.
well, was I a pawn in somebody else's game?
No, yeah, I'm just looking at it at more like in a literal. like, you know
What
I mean?
literal? That's the exploration here. What is the literal? When does the facade stop being the facade? When does the play stop being the play? And when does real life start being real life? Because we belong to a tradition. And
Yeah.
that tradition I thought I was against, but it turns out that what I was really against was the nonconformity of conformity. It's a crazy paradox, dude.
Yeah.
It's pretty insane.
You just threw a whole wrench in my.
I have an odd question that I feel like we normally can't answer because of the perspectives that you'll see on
Mouth
the podcast.
words are
It
hard.
has to be a
buddy.
two-parter because I don't like one-parters.
I don't like one parters. No, something that we've never really been able to explore too much. And this is an interesting one coming from Scorsese, which again is these very, I want to say like from the filmography I've seen, which isn't all of it, it's these kind of testosterone filled man films.
absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
and you see this one that it's a lot more subdued, but do you feel like this one falls subject to it's wanting you to align with more the man's point of view? Do you feel like the female characters are
Oh,
developed
that's a
enough?
really good one.
yeah, it's a great question.
Yeah,
They're
do you feel,
strong female characters.
Yeah,
but do you feel like they're developed enough, or
But-
do you feel like they're also falling subject that they are just things that Daniel Day-Lewis is after, and we get to watch him be all mad when he doesn't get it? Like, what are your thoughts towards this?
see, this is actually why I don't like Taxi Driver.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I just I
dude
feel
fantasy?
like
Well, because yeah, hero saves the
Yeah,
girl.
I
And
can see
that's
Yeah,
not
he
even-
just he does
didn't-
what every angsty teen wants to do: get a mohawk and a gun, and then
Just
just like
go
go to
ham.
a porno theater. Like, yeah, you're right. This-
see, like even hearing that, I'm like, as a woman, I just like I can't tap into that film.
See, I thought that's why I kept my mouth shut. I was like, all right.
But what about something like this?
And so
Did you also have a hard time tapping into Age of Innocence?
No, I think I felt completely tapped in.
Okay.
I mean, I have other issues with the film, but I
Right.
think in regards to gender representation, like these women are very dynamic. I mean, they're intelligent.
Right.
They're sharp, and in many
Absolutely.
ways, like
Yeah, yeah.
he is kind of falling victim to their
Yeah,
choices.
yeah.
I thought that
Oh, I like that.
revelation, like where she reveals that she lied about being pregnant when she actually wasn't.
Right.
I mean, he's being calculated around,
Mm-hmm.
and they are making these decisions, and there's some level of agency that he doesn't have, thinking
Yeah.
about Ellen jumping in the car and he's looking after her and she never looks back.
Right.
There's also a level of male sentimentality in this film that
Absolutely.
is really
Absolutely.
intriguing, like him crying. There are these things shared between men, but they're rarely actually spoken between them. Instead, they're circulating this orbit of women.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Have you seen Goodfellas? No. Oh.
Before
okay.
you make your point,
No. Hold on. I was trying to make a
it
point
took
here.
a second
There's a
just to-
scene in Goodfellas, as you guys might remember, as we just covered it last week or 2 weeks ago. there's a scene in Goodfellas where the wives of the mobsters are having a party, a hostess party they call it.
I love
and they're
that
just
scene.
shooting the shit, talking about how their husbands are saints, and they're well aware of what their husbands do for the most part. But the conversation that really strikes me is that they're basically saying like, "Oh no," and he was trying to touch me, but imagine if I set Vinny on him. Vinny would kill him. That would be the end of his life. That was a thing of power. Oh, like I can set my dog off on these men or these situations that I don't like or I feel threatened by, and if they would be taken care of. I think a lot of Scorsese's films, though, testosterone film, and very much from the male perspective,
Yeah.
I don't like to shy away from that because though there should be even representation in certain situations, as a storyteller, I don't have a woman's perspective in me. I might try to tap into a woman's perspective. I might try to have things ring true, but I'm telling it from my perspective.
Yeah.
So I don't think filmmakers should shy away from that, and I don't think Scorsese shies away from that. He never tries to say like, "Oh, I'm telling this in the perspective of a woman," because they're not any less compelling characters.
Yeah.
It's because at the core there is a human element that we're all
Yes.
exploring, and I feel like it doesn't matter. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, please, but I think at a core we've all dealt with the situation of trying to be proper in a role, and we've all dealt with the situation of wanting to do something outside of the norm, but there's going to be some level of blockade that comes from either
Backlash.
friends, family, general society,
Yeah.
that
Absolutely.
it causes this internal turmoil, and we're all trying to figure out how to rectify that and how to just proceed forward with caution. So I think that those are like the universal human elements.
Absolutely.
And then I think on top of that is that, again, there's this gender representation. Like to me, obviously, I could align very much in Daniel Day-Lewis's character and these moments of like rage and frustration, even the fact that the whole cigar motif, I don't know if you explored anymore,
Yeah.
but I felt like those were supposed to be the moments that when they lit a cigar, it was like they were able to close the door, not to everybody else, but specifically to women.
Yeah,
Like when you lit a cigar, it was like this thing where no women
The
could
men are
come in.
talking.
It's
Yeah.
the boys' hour, and they could talk. But in that, you would be able to see the cracks of like that last time that he had a cigar. And I forgot who he was talking to, but they
Yeah,
talk
with the
about
mutton chops.
Yeah, they're talking bad about
I
Ellen,
didn't catch his name
and then he starts cracking, and
Yeah.
he's just all upset.
But
and
that probably was very much the moment of like, hey, as men, this is a safe space. We can talk, man. You can be honest with me. We're going to talk about Ellen and this. And again, it's not like general, like, hey, dude, what's the scoop?
No, yeah.
It's like 1800s. What's the scoop, right?
Yeah.
But the scoop doesn't come out until he starts cracking him. And chances are that conversation led into, hey, by the way, all of high society knows that you guys were fucking. Just so you know, like all of society knows. Probably because of these conversations where men can be men and can talk to
Yeah.
other people. And then these men go home and talk to their wives about what's going on.
Yeah.
hey, Brittany, you won't believe.
Yeah, I don't know. It's extremely interesting.
I love that this whole segment turned into, we men, we don't know women. Celine, tell us about women.
What women think.
It's
Well-
an interesting perspective.
So
Yeah,
I
I love
also would like to highlight what's so interesting. You have this bigger issue, which is a question of representation. And it's if you're doing these historical pieces,
Right.
like how do you promote representation on screen
Sure.
from a modern
Accurately.
lens, right?
Accurately.
And-
As accurately as you can, yeah.
I mean, yeah, like you're not going to make a World War II film and center women in the battlefield because
Right.
there were so few. I mean, you
Right.
can hope it's done at some point, but like fundamentally, you will
Right,
basically
right.
almost always have an all-male cast.
Yeah,
And
Rita the
what's
Riveters,
really
which is
interesting-
the height of something like that in terms of
Yeah.
representation. Yeah.
But like this film violates this major rule that you see in all of these period pieces in this time, which is that women are financially dependent on men.
Sure.
And it does that when the matriarch, the grandmother,
Yeah.
is the one that financially emancipates Ellen. Gives her the choice to stay in Europe, gives
Oh,
her
yeah.
the choice
Really?
to stay in the US,
Be financially
gives
secure,
her all these options. And so these rules
Yeah.
move from being literal and time specific and, class conditional.
Right.
And then they are freed.
Yeah.
And Ellen is too. And that's what's, I think, really interesting about this film in specific.
To you,
Right.
that's what you connect with.
It isn't entrapped in its own representation.
Absolutely
I mean, there
not.
are things I connected with more than that piece specifically, but it is an intriguing one.
I think it's also trying to show the progression of the times, because early on they talk about like these halls where there'd be these paintings, but there was one painting that was always super provocative, which is just a naked woman that's there in like the foreground. But they talk about how that was displayed properly for everybody because there was this element of we're living in the past. All of us are living in our own world's norms and the way we're supposed to be interacting with each other based off of our culture and how times are changing. And there is this kind of thing of, even though back in the day when you got married, you did this, and when you're communicating with people, you would have these kind of parties. But one moment that's probably a little bit more subtle is when they talk about the wedding dress and how
she didn't wear it.
Normally, you would have you'd be wearing the wedding dress whenever you went out for months, but it's been a while, and this is the first time she's doing it.
Ever done it.
That's also the whole holding on to traditions, but not following them as neatly anymore. Like now there is a movement in society. Now norms are changing, and that's probably also why Ellen was able to emancipate herself in some way to like completely separate from like this.
I also think that's what attracted Scorsese to this project. I don't know officially. I just know that Jay Cox brought him the novel sometime around 1980. It took him 7 years to even read the novel.
Well,
like he was just like handed to it, and then let me check this out. Yeah, Jay Cox. When in terms of when Scorsese's doing a period piece, that's who he writes with, is Jay Cox. Jay Cox went on to do other like things like Boardwalk Empire and shit like that. He kind of Scorsese started with, but when he was handed the book, he didn't really care about it for a while, and then he eventually read it, and he's like, okay. And Jay Cox was like, if you're going to do a love story, this is the love story you're going to tell. It's high society, it's New York, it's exploring these themes. But what I think what attracted Scorsese is that most people, again, we always like to think of this in terms of like, if you're in intro to film, 101, what are the 10 films you're screening throughout the semester to kind of show progression and growth in somebody's palette, right? And I think that most people or who start learning about Scorsese, the surface level is mobster pictures. It's these high-profile cast films that are exploring these big themes. They're big films, but they're not in their core. The example I gave with Goodfellas and Mean Streets is they're not highlighting the high society of mobsters just for the sake of it, just for the luxury and the indulgence of it. In fact, they're highlighting like a bottom of the barrel mobster in the world of big mobsters. It's like the Odyssey. It's like exploring Greek gods by being Odysseus. Yeah. Like that's what I think Scorsese is exploring in most of his films. It's like on paper, if you love Edith Wharton and you love her books and you love, again, the anthropological approach she takes to exploring high society, specifically in New York, it's like, oh, cool, it's drama with rich people. That's fun. That's what Age of Innocence is about on the surface.
On the surface, yeah.
But Scorsese, I think, takes these packages and just rips them to shreds to show you, like, no, it's really about this human element if you're willing to go there. If you're willing to be uncomfortable with me for 2 hours, this is really what it's about. On the surface, sure. Yes, Joe Pesci shoots people with a gun. Cool. But if you're willing to go down with me about the monster in that, the monster is humanity of that. This is really what the stories I'm trying to tell. I think that's what attracted Scorsese to something like this. It's again, sure, New York story, cool. That's his hometown. That's what he loves. But it's exploring the human condition in a packaging that people haven't quite seen yet. And that's why you're able to break gender norms, despite the fact that it's a period piece. That's why I love films like Babylon, because people see the 1920s as these, oh, no, everybody was proper, eh? And it really wasn't. Like, there's so much history, actual books written, like first-hand accounts of how fucking crazy the 1930s were, 1920s and 30s of like cinema, and how crazy Hollywood really fucking was at the start of movies. And something like Babylon really does show you, like, hey, you're willing to come here with me. This is the truth. I'm going to shatter the glass of Chaplin and City Lights for you. But this is what society was really fucking like if you're willing to come down this road with me. And I think that's what Age of Innocence is. Despite the fact that this is Scorsese's not only first thing that had a PG rating.
How did it do in the box office? Or
I don't quite know. I mean, it
'Cause I
was a
never heard
popular
of it.
IP, so I think it probably did well. But yeah, this is a PG film that is telling a very
His
deep
first one since New York, by the way.
New York. Yeah, New York was PG also.
So
And in New York, fucking De Niro beats the shit out of Liza Minnelli, like slaps her across the face multiple times. I don't know how
Good
they
for
got a
him.
PG
so the budget
rating.
for this was 34, and it made 32.2.
2 million short.
Yeah. Right off the heels of Goodfellas. He
Really?
did Goodfellas in 90. Not New York.
Hold on.
He did, hold on.
This is 93.
What did he do right before Age of Innocence?
Hold on.
Dear God.
Hold on.
But the law. Can we
Okay,
explore?
do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Daniel
so,
Day-Lewis' character. I'm trying to now because I'm
Oh,
really
sorry.
into the story.
No, no.
So after Goodfellas, he did Cape Fear,
Cape Fear. That's
Oh,
right.
I
Spielberg.
forgot
and
about
then The Age of Innocence, and then after this, he did
Casino.
Michael Jackson Video Greatest Hits History,
He directed that.
Casino.
Oh.
He did Casino.
and then after that was Kundun,
Kundun.
and then after that was My Voyage to Italy,
So good.
then Bringing Out the
Some of these
Dead,
I've never heard of.
The Neighborhood, Gangs of New York, The Blues, The
So,
Aviator,
a lot of these are
The
documentaries.
Departed,
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Shutter Island.
Got it.
Do you want me to
Thanks.
keep going?
No.
Oh, and then he did Hugo,
I'm good.
and then
I'm
Wolf of
personally
Wall-
good.
Oh.
I personally do not need to hear another Scorsese film.
You had a question, Castro. For
No, man, I'm thinking of Daniel Day-Lewis' character and
Yeah.
how much of a coward he was if he saw the cage and stayed in it.
Coward is an operative word. Coward is a
That's why I
choice.
didn't want to use it, but I
But
just feel
again, like
I know.
abandon your
Wait,
life.
For
how much?
me.
How much of a coward he is for doing what?
First,
Staying in.
Seeing the golden cage and staying in it.
Oh, I think that's part of the human element. That's an exploration of like when we talk about wanting to get away from things. Like, I mean, even him, he has this whole thing of like, why are you looking about books on Japan? It's like, why are you wanting to get away?
Yeah.
It's because, let's say if even when friend groups, like I know that like right now the world's bigger and larger, and in some ways we feel like we can kind of escape and everything, but because of social media and how interconnected we are, if you were to do something that went against all your friends and all your family and you needed to leave that, do you have the strength right now to do it? Like, how strong of a reward are you going to get for leaving?
I got gas in my car.
No, but like,
No. But you know what? Even just simplifying this.
No, I
You
know
and
where you're
you
going,
and I,
and
you and
I
I
get
can
it.
talk. You and I can talk. We're products of divorce.
Yeah. We get
we
it.
can talk.
No. Slow down, sport. No. You and I are products of divorce.
Right.
What kind of looks, even today, in the stigma of the 1990s when our parents got divorced, how were people looking at your mom or your dad when they found out they were divorced?
Yeah, it was not good.
What looks were they getting?
Especially my mom.
Especially your mom, especially moms. But
Yeah.
dads are looked at as a failure, right? They're looked at the guy who couldn't hack it. They're looked at the guy who left the kids. They're looked at however society decides to look at
Right.
them. That was the 1990s, man. Think 100 years before, and tradition and being in the public eye because you're the richest family in New York.
No, that I'm trying to get into that mentality. I'm just like, I guess I'm pissed off at his decision. I guess I'm like,
It's 'cause-
if I was in that situation, I would have.
It's because I think
Obviously.
also like we feel that, hey, like if people are being shitty, then you just leave. Even if your family being shitty, like
Yeah.
I'm just gonna get my own place in a different state, different city, and I'll be fine. But then you also start to see the cracks of like back in the day, your network was the most important thing you had, especially the fact that you belong to this family, you belong to that family. This family will like similar to like gangs.
Yeah.
They support you through and through, and then when you break off that family,
Oh, that is-
you're
okay, okay,
you're
okay.
in an ultimate form of exile,
Kind of
that's
like a-
unrectifiable.
The ultimate form of exile is joining the witness protection program and looking like a
Yes.
Oh, it's kind of like what happened with the Queen, no? Over there in England with the son married.
Oh yeah, she
Meghan-
died.
All right. Right.
Now he's not allowed
Well,
back
no,
there.
think about that. That's an interesting exploration.
That's
Think
kinda the
about
first thing that-
Princess Diana. Princess Diana was anti everything royal in the sense of like she was a royal, but she didn't do things the way the royals liked it.
Right.
She was a very bad PR
Yeah.
situation
I know a
for
little
the
bit of it,
royals.
yeah.
So, there's even conspiracy theories out
That's
there that she
good,
got
okay.
killed off, man, because of how much they'll protect their tradition. Even again, this was what 1980s.
Yeah.
Princess Diana. Even then, like again, if you feed into the conspiracy theory of like the fucking queen killed her, man, like they just killed her off because she was a problem. She was having an affair. She was about to
he
get a
was also, no?
divorce. What?
Yeah, he was also having an affair.
Well, yeah, of course. But again, male
See, that's the whole thing.
traditions,
That's the whole
right?
thing, right?
It's just so interesting, man. Like it is really interesting on like what you're willing to do to protect tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just vibing
Also,
with it.
that fact of like, think about this. Like, if we're again, if in today's society, we're like, yeah, you know what, me and my family don't really get along. I fucking hate this. I'm leaving. I'm moving to fucking Alaska and becoming a fisherman for.
I'm
Red
moving to
flags.
cruises.
Yeah.
Red flags.
Like you'll do this, right? Like you'll say, yeah, I can do that. Like nothing standing in my way. I make my own money. In that society, it's like, what's the how can I best save face? Even just moving away.
I hate that.
And
yeah,
and
I'm
by the way,
understanding it.
a lot of these problems can be answered by like, oh, I'm excommunicating myself. I'll just work and pay my own way. But
Yeah.
no,
They
what
wanna-
do I have to do to get my allowance, save face, and move to another country?
How do I
Financially
move?
secure.
Just to leave.
How do I move to Illinois and still get daddy's money?
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
the crazy. It's even leaving has to be dignified.
That's why
I'm loving this story now.
Like Celine was saying, it was such a big victory when it was like
When
the
it was
granny
her.
was going to emancipate
Oh.
her because that was such like a dependence for her that she would almost have to go back to this husband because one, it's like you're saving face, but two, financially,
What are you gonna
that's
do?
going to protect her, you know, if she leaves. So then it's like, oh no, here's money. You can finally be free.
And maybe
from
the
everything,
granny's perspective, this was right after she had her stroke, right? So maybe it's her perspective is like, I'm at the end of my life. Like, what's important here?
Yeah.
You know,
That is true.
like maybe she got a new lease on life and decided to explore that. That's never said.
I'm going up to an 8, man. Because it was hard trying to understand the story, but then you guys saying about the stuff,
You know what? I'm
Opens my
going
eyes.
down to a 5.
Be a below.
Just so that way we can average it out with Celine.
The way to wreck the
average out to like a 7.5.
Society, fuck them.
Yeah.
Age of Innocence.
Age of Innocence.
No, wait. Celine didn't give her rating. She's going up to a 9.3.
Wait. Before we get final ratings,
Yeah, no,
I
I'll
want to
just-
explore something really quick.
Yes.
Cinematography.
Yeah.
I really want to explore the cinematography in this
Sure.
film. I think that a lot of what was done, again, a lot of it is dated naturally, just because what the tools were then, and a lot of those decisions to use those tools. But
Now
a
you're backtracking, huh?
no, not on the slightest. What they
I didn't come
did
around.
with practical lighting
I said it was a
was
choice.
incredible to me.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially like in his specifically one rage-filled moment, they decide to go red in real time.
True.
Yes.
For 5 seconds
Yes.
of screen time.
Yeah.
Just to show this brief, like palpable emotion that he's going through. The use of practicals in that scenario, it wasn't just
Yes.
lighting up the chandelier at the beginning of the shot, though that was really cool. That was like a Sayaji Ray inspired music room moment. That was so cool. But the use of practicals in this film, I thought was incredible in terms of lighting and how they used the practicals. But camera movement and editing and speed, where a scene will start with a normal time and then they'll slow the frame rate down midway through the shot. That, again, I thought a lot of it was incredibly intentional and really, really special.
Oh, yeah. No, not to oversimplify, but it was all good.
Thanks.
Back
to you, Castro.
I love the shot in the opera house where like the lighting changed in real time and like got brighter
Oh,
and yeah.
so
my
great. The
goodness.
sound
Yeah.
goes down. It's just them two. There's a
The lens gets really shallow
yes.
and like the vignette.
the vignette goes
Yeah.
over. Oh
Yeah.
gosh, so good. Such a good moment.
So what I will say.
is that you hated that.
Say
No,
it
no,
with
no.
your chest.
That's where I started to really feel the concrete nature of the motif that this is an opera in and of itself, because a lot of this the elements of theater
good.
lighting, adding in these unmotivated
the crazy
lights.
hair lighting
yeah,
before-
Yeah.
unmotivated lights, the crazy hair light that would come
Yeah,
on in
Hollywood hair light.
Yeah. All those are things that you would find in theater because you're trying to find a way to exaggerate a character when they're just on stage, or exaggerate an emotion that people can't see on their face. So things like when a certain piece of dialogue is being uttered, the lights go red to really push the idea that this is going to cause rage and tension and like the passions are just so high in the moment. And then also the moments where even if they're in a huge crowd of people, there's a lot going on, the spotlight that's going to center the action. Like I've seen in theaters where, you'll have the whole cast going through this big old motion, and then all the lights drop down, all the characters stay still except for like one or two, and they're in the spotlight. In that moment, they can have these faint conversations that really do feel like the world melted away.
Yeah, and
I saw a lot of those
if you're a
moments,
romantic, that's what you believe. That's how you feel talking to the person you love in the crowded room. You're at a party, you're talking to somebody or somebody you have a crush on or something, the world melts away and you're focused. The sound goes down. That's what this emotion is about.
Yeah, that's good.
And honestly, to me, the beauty of the cinematography is that it knew how to balance that, because there is a point when it can get gimmicky, and there's a point where it can feel like it's too much. The whole colors popping out and these spotlight moments, the hair light coming through, it can all feel like way too much, too fast.
It's also inherently cinematic. There's like the iris opens and the iris closes.
No, but what I think more so, those moments too, more so, I love the fact that color palette wise, when you look at this, I was amazed that a lot of the film just felt very
pretty.
No, it felt very flat to me. Not so much in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it felt very flat to me. I didn't feel like there was a lot of interesting moments. But what it was doing is that it gave enough contrast that when they needed to be this extra punch, they always knew that they could use some kind of theater lighting technique, be it with color, be it with the iris, be it with again the hair light, the spotlight, whatever they needed to do, they could always emphasize it. So those are the moments that you remember. The reds is what you remember.
I think it raises the bar.
Yeah.
I think all of it's pretty. I think all of it's inherently pretty because that's what society is on the surface level. But it raises the bar because what stands out is what's above the pretty. If everything's pretty, nothing is pretty, right?
Did you
Like if
also-
everything is pretty,
yeah.
everything is bland.
Did you also notice that, at least for me, I wish I could remember the names of the paintings, but there's a couple of frames, like him hugging, I think, his wife, or I forgot if it was Ellen, but he's kind of hunched over on the floor and he's hugging her. That there's a painting that one's it's paying homage to when they're in the park. I think it's just called like Day in the Park, and it's a pointillism painting.
Yeah.
Day in the
Yeah.
Park with George.
Yes, and like there was a lot of moments that when you look at, they're all super picturesque.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why I think it was so funny when they were making fun of like painters in New York.
Well,
like,
look at the status. Is like they talk about Ellen as a countess.
Yeah.
Oh, she had her portrait drawn 9 times.
Yeah.
as a societal like point to reach, peak to reach, because that's so important.
yeah.
Art is so important because that. What else?
Because at the time, going back even to like photography being this kind of like juvenile art form, and it wasn't super accessible to everybody.
It was low. It was like what cinema was to theater in its inception.
Yeah.
It was low art.
Yeah.
It was low art, and theater was for the high class societal people.
Yeah.
That's what.
It was also amazing that at the time, the reason so many portraits were done of like royals is because it was like capturing your essence. But also when they painted you, depending on how they posed you, they could show where you are in the power dynamic. If you were of a certain class, you were allowed to look directly at the painter. If you were of a lower class, you could never make eye contacts through the frame, because the idea is that you aren't given the respect to be in perpetuity after the painting's made. But
sense.
like that's why kings and royals or elites would all have their portraits done where no matter what action they were in the middle of, they would all be facing towards where the canvas would be.
Today I learned. That's
So
pretty
yeah,
good.
that's
That's cool. That's
a
actually- I love
lot
that.
of
use
power
of that.
dynamics.
By the way,
were present there,
Scorsese hired a grad student, art history grad student, to curate 25
I love that.
books
Fuck yeah.
of reference
Yeah,
of
yes,
what
you
why
have
they
to.
mattered in that era and what should be in the frame. This was curated to a T. I mean, the set design. And again, a lot of that also comes from like, I'm fairly positive. I didn't read this, but I'm fairly positive something like Barry Lyndon was an influence on this, and the Kubrick stylings on high society and war and all that. But also, I think of Barry Lyndon because Barry Lyndon is shot. It's made to look like a painting entirely. They repurpose lenses so that each frame looks like a painted image. So a lot of that is a big commentary
I was also
on how they see themselves. you know?
Yeah.
So a lot. That's why I say that a lot of it, all of it, I think to me is pretty, but the dull, more human
the
elements
dull is the color.
Yeah.
But it becomes much more grounded, even in its lighting. I think a lot about him being in a study by the
Yeah.
fireplace. Becomes grounded. Those shots remind me of There Will Be Blood,
Yeah.
you know, because the human element is coming out in those moments. There's so much to the cinematography. And by the way, Michael Ballhaus and Scorsese's not always trying to go for pretty, if ever. I think him and Michael Ballhaus, this is some of him and Michael Ballhaus's best work. Like, the shots are gorgeous because they're intentional.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think they're like, I don't think that's a common thread.
What was the intentionality when like they zoom in and then it goes to the side? What doesn't it go?
Profiles, the image of these people, right? I saw a lot of that on the
the
stage.
way, dude, this
the
is why-
stage, like the performers.
Yeah.
They'd crane in and then they'd end up on the profile shot of the performer. There's a lot of intentionality behind the cinematography.
If you want to go like a step further into that, also
yeah.
look at the lighting on a performer's face. What happens is that you won't get a lot of contour on there,
Right.
because they're constantly being hit with the spotlight, because that's to help the audience know where to focus in on. So whenever they would do those push-ins, I would always notice that either because of the fill lighting or the key being directly in front of them, they were never contrasted. They're only
They're
contrasted.
one-dimensional.
They're only contrasted when they need to be outside or in a realistic situation, like when they were having dinner with each other. That's when they look more normal. But otherwise, when they're doing those profiles, it's because they're performing the role.
They're
And
one-dimensional
sometimes
people. Yeah.
it's not even performing the role of society. It's performing the role of how am I reacting to I want to be with her or I want to go there, but I can't. And
that's when you
the
see
rage
the
and the
blood in
frustration.
his face. That's when
Yeah.
you see the tears
Yeah.
in his eyes. That's when you see the
super
Rembrandts
theatrical
and the,
elements,
yeah,
yeah.
dude, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And also, I'd like to point out that all of his early scenes with May occur outside and in these beautiful, beautiful gardens. Yeah.
That's true.
And almost all of his scenes with Ellen are by a fire.
Sure.
And he
Yep.
never gets
Oh,
that
that's
fireplace moment
good.
with May. And then, really, the only moments that he has with Ellen outside, it's snowing.
Yeah.
Too.
I think that's such a good point
That's a good.
to make because later on when May says, "Hey, can I come in here? I haven't spent time with you." It's funny that it's in this fireplace, this setting that's, I guess, uncommon for them. And even though they've been married and, now she's announcing that she's pregnant.
No, yeah. She
Yeah.
asks for permission to
Yeah,
come into his
that's
mind.
crazy.
And he's still
if you
kind of
will.
like,
Yeah, it
are you
reminded
kind of
me of-
sleepy.
Yeah, do you want to go to bed?
Yeah.
No, it's very fascinating.
Wow, that's a good take right there. That's good.
Age of Innocence.
Age
Definitely
of
need to.
guilty.
I need another watch for sure.
Sure.
It just a
I
lot of
hope
things that you
so.
guys talked about.
I
Went
would
through my
hope
head.
so. I need another watch, man. This film carries a lot of depth to it. I never said this before, and I don't think.
Then don't say it now.
I think somebody, you know how you ask, like, there's a lot of filmmakers, they just asked Kevin Smith this on a podcast. It's like, now that you have the resources, now that you have the expertise of, making X amount of films, which one would you go back to remake? And I think this is like, if Scorsese, knowing what he knows now and having the tools he has now, if this was remade, I would not be mad at that.
Oh man, like if he had the budget he had for Killers
Yeah,
But
on
did this-
Age of Innocence.
and the experience, like, geez.
Yeah. I've never said that before. I don't think I've ever, because again, it's like touching the Mona Lisa, right? Like, who would want to do that?
I was
But-
thinking that. I was like, nah, man, don't
me
go back.
5
I don't
minutes.
think he would want to go back.
Yeah. But any rating changes?
Mine went up to an 8 for sure. There's a lot of things that just went through.
But you needed a rewatch.
For sure,
naturally
man.
so.
Yeah.
I will go up to an 8.3 because fuck How I Met Your Mother. This is how it should have ended.
Don't spoil it. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, same.
It finished over 10 years ago.
But I haven't seen
It's
it.
bullshit. This is how it should have ended.
There's an exploration of longing.
I love the ending. No, I love the
fuck
ending.
you.
I love the ending.
Fuck you. You're cool.
I haven't seen it. What did I do?
Yeah, we'll have to have a conversation. We can't talk about it on the podcast because then what if somebody hasn't seen it?
Celine, what are your final thoughts on Age of Innocence?
Yeah.
Or being on the podcast.
Yeah.
Being on the
both.
podcast was a 10 out of 10.
Woo!
And Age of Innocence,
It's still a 5.6.
I'm going to say that I think you pointed to it, which was like flat. Like, I always think of films and great films, like, I can't get out of my head. Like, I'll leave and think about them for days and days.
Yeah, absolutely.
This film, it just, there wasn't anything so resonant that I think I won't be able to stop thinking about it tomorrow. And
Okay, I
so
thought you were going another way. No, I love that you went. Okay.
I'm gonna leave it. I'll give
You
it a
can leave it.
6.
No,
we
leave
had a
it.
great dialogue.
No, go
No,
down.
I'll give it a 6.
Yeah,
I'll
don't-
honor
she
it.
went up.
No,
Her pity
Celine,
6.
don't
Barely a D.
conform to society and listen to a bunch of men.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? 5.2. No, I'm kidding.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's fair. No,
Negative.
I think that's like the biggest criteria for me too. Like if I can't stop thinking about
Yeah.
a fucking film.
Absolutely.
But we'll see how you feel in a week.
Yeah, we'll check
It's
in.
I will, because this film's got something to say. Anyways, no, it's great. You anybody? I'm happy at a 9. Still.
I'm happy at an 8.3.
Fair.
Fuck How I Met Your Mother.
Could have done better. Could have done worse.
What's
But next week,
I think that's also the worst rating we've given to a Scorsese film. So I'm not that. Well, never mind. That is.
look,
that
all I'm going
is-
to say is,
Sorry.
was Celine's rating illegal? Or was it legal?
Nah, it's objective.
Absolutely fucking not.
Absolutely fucking not.
Nah,
That's a
she
great
had some good
segue.
stuff to
Yeah.
back
That's
it
a
up.
great
Great
segue. Next
first
week.
Woo!
Next week, we're going to end Scorsese month by
Damn.
talking about a fan favorite, if you will, a film that also still has a lot to say
I have an
in
idea.
cinematic merit.
Hold on. Slow down your intro. I have an idea.
What are you going to do?
No, I was going to do something else.
Oh.
Hold on. Wait.
Hey,
All right, keep going. Keep going.
I don't know if I should announce it at this point, or you got something to do.
Go for it.
Okay.
what am I listening to?
I don't know yet. We're going to talk about Wolf of Wall Street. 2013's Wolf of Wall Street. Oh, I see what this is. This is a fan favorite, and this was like, I was outvoted. I was going to pick something else, but everybody's like, no, we got to talk about Wolf of Wall Street, dude. So
We have to, bro.
I love that film. Still very much an amazing film. It's got a lot to say. And again, in terms of growth and what Scorsese became
Oh yeah.
leading up to that and at that point.
Giant leap.
Again, this was right after Shutter Island, which a lot of people hated. So it's interesting to explore a film that really put him back on top for
I feel like put him back into the mainstream.
cinephiles. Yeah, mainstream audience goers and like cinephiles. So
Yeah.
Wolf of Wall Street. We're going to talk about Wolf of Wall Street next week to end Scorsese month. Let us know
I'm
what
mad
you
at
think.
that.
Hopefully you saw Age of Innocence. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about Wolf of Wall Street leading up to next week's episode. Thank you to Celine Dip.
Yes.
being on
Celine,
the
Thanks
podcast.
you're
for
a great
having
guest.
me.
Awesome
I'll
guest.
never have her back for a Scorsese film, but
Yeah.
short of that.
Well,
But she said she will come back for another episode.
you're
so.
part of the
Depending when.
You're part of the family and the podcast
Absolutely.
family. So
Yes.
whenever you want to hang out again,
Yeah.
watch a
Just
film.
By the way, Carlos, it was Shutter Island, then Hugo, then Wolf of Wall.
Then Hugo.
Still don't.
So he went from Hugo.
We didn't
So
look
he
at
went
you.
from
Still
Hugo.
okay.
From Hugo to
Wolf of
fucking
Wall
Wolf
Street.
of Wall Street.
Yeah, he was
Hey,
like,
you can shut the
Don't
fuck up.
ask. And
fine.
Next week.
tune in.
Already done.
Yeah,
Already done, pal. Already
Yeah,
announced that.
Oh,
Kevin Smith at El Paso
Oh
Film
my
Festival. Go buy
God.
your tickets now. It's like 2 weeks away at this point. So check it out. It's going to be a lot of
Believe
fun.
it.
We'll all be there.
Believe it.
$20, little man.
$20, little man. So yeah, go check it out. We'll be there at El Paso Film Festival. And if not for Kevin Smith, go check out all of the other amazing programming
yeah.
that we're going to have. There's a lot of El Paso shorts.
One of our shorts.
And
A lot of
features. There's
local
actually going to be a
flavor.
feature as well. I don't think I can announce it yet because it's not public. Well, it might be public by this point. The local feature that we're going to...
There's 2 local features.
There's 2 local features. Gloria
Oh, Martinez.
at the Mexican American Culture Center and Rael, or Buddy Rael's Lepes, which is going to make its Texas... It might be the U.S. premiere, actually.
I think so.
Nice.
So go check out Lepes. That'll be at the Plaza Theater Saturday, last day of the festival.
Does Tower have any films playing at the festival?
We do. We'll have 000
000.
at the El Paso Shorts block.
Directed by Tower's own.
Tower's own Ricky Rodriguez.
Yeah.
And everybody in this room worked on that film, so
I
that's
love
great.
that guy.
Yep.
That was a
Celine's
really-
first time working with us.
Yeah, script supervisor.
Goodness.
That was a
Yeah.
great...
Fun film. It's going to be really exciting.
That was a
Catch
fun-
it.
Super
that was
fun
a
film,
fun
I
man.
time.
hope you rate it higher than you rated
Yeah.
this one.
Hope you do. No, but yeah, go to the El Paso Film Festival.
Yes.
Check out everybody's films. We got
Go
Texas
support.
Shorts coming in.
Oh,
We got
You'll see us.
a great deal of
if you go.
panels.
Yeah, you'll
it's going
see
to be a lot
us.
of fun. So go to the
Hang
festival,
out.
buy your tickets
and
now.
greet.
I'm thinking Margs.
There's going to be receptions with drinks. Absolutely. Thank you for tuning to the WatchTower Film Podcast. We'll see you next week. Good night.
Good
Love
night,
you
everybody.
guys.
Celine, quick, best Daniel Day-Lewis impression.
Go.
Guys, like, I actually have never seen a movie with him until tonight.
What?
You
Yeah.
you don't have half an impression, like.
So now, go.
I've abandoned my boy.
I want my wife to not know I'm having an affair. All right, good night, everybody.